Welcome to the bold analysis. By the end of William Ruto and Kindiki tenure, Kindiki is one of the politicians that will be destroyed completely. And one of the things that Kindiki will regret in his political career is on the shambolic ascending to the post of DP by impeachment. He's gone to record of becoming the first deputy president to benefit from an impeachment, but that history is one that is haunting. I'm speaking in the context of yesterday night interview at a time the country was arguing on William Ruto's cabinet appointments. If you missed Kithure Kindiki interview, roundtable interview, which was 50 days of his tenure, then don't move, because this podcast is actually meant for you. Let's get to understand, and I can say without fear of contradiction, that in 2027, Abraham Kithure Kindiki is not going to be William Samoei Arap Ruto's running mate. Mark this post, mark this podcast, and I can tell you, from the interview I've watched, Kindiki knows that his fate is already sealed. I want us to delve deep into those details. But before that, we are running a very urgent appeal to help Charles here.
Na nilikuwa naomba usaidizi, nisaidiwe. Hospitali hii mahali niko nishatibiwa, kweli wameshanitibu. Sasa pesa imepanda 290. Sasa wanataka kusimamisha matibabu. Sasa naomba kama inawezekana, kama naweza badilishwa, nibadilishwe, kwa sababu hakuna matibabu inaendelea. Ndio.
Charles here collapsed 2 weeks ago. He was rushed to Mama Lucy Hospital but could not be admitted because he needed to be in oxygen and there was no space for him. So some of the neighbors rushed him to a nearby private hospital known as Radiant, where he received treatment. Now he was on oxygen but came out, and after the test they realized he's suffering meningitis and other underlying condition. I choose to ride on his confidentiality. But as we speak, he's stranded in that hospital with a medical bill of 290,000. There is nothing going on, and as what I've conversed with the neighbors around, is in Nairobi and doesn't have a strong family support system. Hana bibi alimwacha, and is just like the young you see. So what we've decided to do is, at least if you can be able to raise 200,000, we'll be able to pay half that bill, which the hospital will allow, so that is discharged and again is moved to back to Seme, where there is a brother. So that brother akipelekwa even to the nearby hospital, the brother will be able to take care of Charles. And kindly, let's support this. Thank you. I started on Friday night. As I talk to you, it is 3:30 p.m. I already have 44,390. I want to say thank you, because we are moving through. Any amount that will go towards this will help us achieve that deficit. Oh, it's still 160,000. But as members of the team bold, we can pull this. Tunasemanga kidogo kidogo hujaza kibaba. And I believe that we'll pull through, so that by Monday we'll be able to pay half of that bill. Then he's also moved to Seme in Kisumu County. Now, Kithure Kindiki interview started with this good question from my friend Mashirima Kapombe.
One said, cancel that interview. Another one said, not worth my time. Another one called you a butcher and a murderer. Another said, who killed protesters under his leadership? Now, why would this interview generate so much hostility on your person? And why do you think Kenyans feel tonight whatever you have to say is not of value to them?
I say my friend Mashirima Kapombe because sometime when I used to work in Standard, I used to be, nilikuwa namtengenezea posters. Nilikuwa namtengenezea posters akiwa, she left Standard going to Citizen, so we were the hand in Standard in 2017. So nilikuwa namtengenezea poster akiwa naenda on air. On a light note. Now, President Ruto, Kithure Kindiki and President Ruto does not have a defense card on Gen Z protest and human rights violations that were witnessed when young people went out to express their rage. And you can see the way Kindiki was actually meandering around the question. It's a very clear indication that even as going to the post of deputy president, Kithure Kindiki's hands are not so clean on the Gen Z protest. Much as he tries to make corridors and meanders around it, the public is cleverly looking at his eye and is telling them, Abraham Kithure Kindiki, you cannot move away from this.
To apply when the life of the officer is at risk.
So was any officer's life in danger? Allow me, Professor Kindiki, yes. Was any police officer in danger when David Shege and Enoch Chalo, Erickson Chalo Mutisia only had a flag and they were dancing outside Parliament? What threat did they pose to security officers at Parliament? That is the matter under investigations. If the circumstances you're reading out there is what happened, the officers will be accountable. It's as simple as that. And how long will that take?
As soon as IPOA completes the investigations and forwards the files to the DPP. Criminal investigations are complex. They involve scientific assembling of evidence. It is not enough to rush suspects to court only for cases to collapse.
Say you are the face of, disappearances, abductions, deaths and murders on young people in this country. Do you feel that you're struggling to shake off that tag?
Not at all, because it is not true. So I don't struggle at all.
It's clear, Mr. Deputy President, that the tag behind you, and my colleague Mashirima Kapombe mentioned it when we mentioned that we were having this interview, is not a very rosy one. And one person in particular called you the butcher of Tharaka. I have two important questions I'd like to understand. Because President William Ruto addressed the nation on the night of June 25th when protesters breached Parliament. He told the nation that was a treasonous act perpetrated by crooks and criminals. Do you believe that the young people killed by police during the protest were crooks and criminals and not young people trying to advocate for their rights?
The protests of June started as legitimate protests.
Is Kindiki's slippery approach and declining to take on the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. When he was asked about the Mt Kenya kingpinship, you can see how how Kindiki took a twist.
Accepted. That's all.
Are you the kingpin of the Mt Kenya region?
Which office is that?
Of course, you are
endorsed by a section of members from majorly the east, where you hail from. You never dismissed that.
Which office is that?
Your Excellency, other than the kingpin issue, there are a majority of members of parliament who met in Nanyuki from the Mt Kenya region, that is before you ascended to the office of deputy president, and endorsed yourself as their link in government.
To the executive.
You have ascended to that office now. Are you now, have you ceased being their link?
Maybe you should ask them. Because I think the members of parliament, because I didn't say it, they said it. So maybe they can say it again. is this thing about the kingpin or something. I don't understand it because there is no office like that.
Well, and are you still hopeful, and do you think there is a possibility of you becoming William Ruto's running mate come 2027?
How would I know?
Your Excellency, then you've talked about development and, those members of parliament using this office to lobby for development. Shouldn't then the development be a democratic right so that then there is no need to lobby and to push for it?
That's not true. The reason you have subnational representation of political leaders, members of the National Assembly, members of the Senate, their mandate is subnational.
And that tells you that is not filling the bill that William Ruto really wants. Apart from just replacing Rigathi Gachagua as the deputy president, Kithure Kindiki, according to the plan by the president, was supposed to be the man to take on Rigathi and the man to take the Mt Kenya mantle from the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. And in all balance, it's very, you can see the way Kindiki is avoiding anything that would actually antagonize Rigathi. The perception of popularity is in conformity with William Ruto's stand. And while really being asked about the popularity of the government, I think he's standing on a defensive edge. And to my end, they seem not to have, or rather, he seemed not to have a solution. Not even the president they seem not to have a solution to the kind of rage that they are facing from the masses. And that tells you that the only available tool for the president is to fix politics with politics. The politics will not be fixed by economy. Because what is supposed to happen is economy is supposed to fix politics. Because if you work economy around, if you turn around the economy, the people will be able to see what you have done and you shall have solved politics. But as things stand, politics will only be fixed by politics, and that would mean to sacrifice Kindiki and mobilize votes across the ethnic lines.
And I want to persuade you to allow me not to discuss my brother, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, because he's my friend. And you've not heard me bad-mouthing him anywhere before when he was in this office or even after he left office. So please spare me, because it is not right. It is wrong to start comparing myself with the predecessor or someone who occupied this office now or in the past, or a person who would occupy it in the future.
Are you being cautious, Your Excellency? The region you come from is very restive, and it's quite a significant, it has quite a significant portion in terms of votes. Are you being cautious now when I ask you the question of lessons you've learned? Are you being cautious not to antagonize the former deputy president?
I have no reason to antagonize anybody. For what?
The mountain which you seem to be avoiding is hostile ground right now, and not just the mountain. The government is struggling with its popularity. As the president's principal assistant, how are you working to change that perception of Kenyans? And more so those who are...
Did you say that the mountain is restive?
Yes. The reception in Embu, for example,
yes.
In Nyandarua the other day, residents refused to listen to the president's speech. In Nakuru County, at a burial, again, they did not want to listen to the president's
That is democracy. That's how democracy works.
Is it that hostile ground to the government that you serve as deputy president now?
You see, there's a difference between running governments and being popular.
It is not going to help the president in future, and is not giving it a political commitment, because when he was asked about the Rigathi, or rather taking Mt Kenya vote, he really tries to leave that discussion and is cagey on commenting as to whether he will be able to deliver Mt Kenya. Why Kindiki is seeing Ruto dropping him, or why you can see that Ruto is taking the turn of dropping him. It is very clear that the way Abraham Kithure Kindiki rose to the position of deputy president, and he was actually appointed by President Ruto. So he does not form the third leg of Gema. I can tell you, even the new cabinet appointees that have been brought, even if Kindiki was consulted, Kindiki was just told on what is to be done. And there is no single time probably President Ruto can pick a phone and tell Kindiki that, give me 2 people that I want to put in government. That is not there. And understand, there was even a plot to plan some homecoming, and that homecoming was not done. The second observation is Ruto is quoting Uhuru Kenyatta. And quoting Uhuru Kenyatta is a clear signal that Ruto does not swing, or rather does not trust him to swing the votes. Kindiki is not taking Rigathi head-on matters because disapproval is nearly going to destroy him. And I think the signal of hope on rescooping the Mt Kenya is not there. And even if he cannot be able to win back Mt Kenya, he doesn't stand the odds against the president. Thank you. Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Thank you guys. I'm back. Team Bold Network. Asanteni sana. I'm back to Watamu. This is Edison.
Yeah.
And Harrison. Yes, so I'm just going to give all of them, both of them, to acknowledge the work we have done. They're going to give so much of what we're going to do apart from the house. This was the model of the wheelchair that we are doing. So this has already been brought. This is the first one. So pale wanaweka hizi vitu za kukando inaekwa. So ya hii iko somewhere there. This is the model wheelchair, the ones that we are designing. So after they're done with this, then another one is going to be brought. But already they have these ones. Now, Harrison, tuambie mambo nyumba imefika aje na umekuwa namna gani?
The house is completed, but still they work hard. They work to make sure they paint the house inside, and then we say thank you for the supporters, for supporting us to make us the house. Nashukuru Mungu sana kwa hii nyumba ambayo mmenisaidia kujenga. Tulikuwa hatuna mahali kwa kulala na kuishi, lakini tunashukuru kwa msaada ambao mmetufanyia. Yani tunashukuru, mmejengwa. Sasa bado mafuta naendelea tu kupaka rangi humo ndani, yani kupaka rangi humo ndani kumalizia hiyo nyumba. Alafu pia tunaomba msaada wa choo, yani choo tuchimbie pia hiyo choo, manake tutashukuru sana kwa huo msaada yani.
So guys, this issue of the choo, there's already a toilet here, but it's a very filthy state, and kwa sababu wao hawezi scroll through, we have already discussed with them. They are going to point out where we can do the chore. So immediately after Christmas, that is the next thing we will come back here to do. Josh is doing the work. Josh, tuambie nyumba umefikisha wapi bana? Umechukua muda sana, but tuambie umefikisha wapi and what is remaining.
Okay, thank you. My name is Joshua. Nimekuwa nikisimama hapa kusimamia hii ujenzi. Nashukuru sana for the support. By now, if you see the outside, we have painted, and now we are going on to accomplish the inside part of the house. And the only thing that the main only thing that is remaining is just to paint the inside. And after plaster. Yes, plaster we have finished. Only small finishing we are doing there. And the only thing that is remaining, the main thing is to paint the inside, so that the house can at least shine. So I'm also appreciating so much for your support, and may God bless you for supporting the two brothers who could not afford to have their own house, and now at least they are well relieved. And thank you very much for this organization. I'm so much pleasant and I'm so much comfortable and happy for your support. Thank you very much.
You're going to do cash transfer. Yeah, Edison, yeah, umesema biashara ni ya?
Ya kuuza njugu.
Kuuza njugu. So you're going to support that, kuuza njugu. And yako ni ya?
Yangu ni ya kuuza ice cream. Yes, ice cream.